A somber note to start Sports Extra this week. The Georgia Bulldogs are mourning the loss of some of their own after a tragedy struck Athens just after celebrating another national title win. Offensive lineman Devin Willock and football staff member Chandler LeCroy were killed early this morning in a single car crash in Athens. According to our UGA insiders at UGAsports.com, fellow offensive lineman Warren McClendon was also in the vehicle with another staff member, Tori Bowles. Both were injured. The university says they will continue to monitor their status with medical personnel. Head coach Kirby Smart releasing a statement this morning that says, "We are all heartbroken and devastated with the loss of Devin Willock and Chandler LeCroy. Devin was an outstanding young man in every way. He was always smiling, was a great teammate and a joy to coach. Chandler was a valuable member of our football staff and brought an incredible attitude and energy every single day. We grieve with their families for this tragic loss and will support them in every way possible." Welcome into Sports Extra, everybody. Obviously not the way that we wanted to start this morning. It was very difficult news for everybody. I have Paul Meharry from UGAsports.com and Brandon Leake from 680 The Fan with me right now. Guys, this was really difficult. You guys were getting texts early this morning from the highs of yesterday celebrating the parade to the lowest of lows. Your initial reaction to this terrible news?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely terrible. You know, love and prayers go out to the family, first and foremost. But there's not one bad thing that was said about Devin Willock. You can ask anybody in the program. He was a player's coach. You know, everybody loved him. And it's sad to hear about him. But also, LeCroy, she was like the backbone to recruiting. A lot of those guys really liked her a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy because I saw her on the field after that national championship game, and she was just smiling and waving. And that's kind of how I always saw her whenever I saw her on the field. Home team, obviously, this is terrible news for the players, staff, their families. What was your initial reaction?
Yeah, it was almost like you wanted to see it just confirmed 3 or 4 times. You just couldn't believe it. It's, you know, seeing a young man, you know, kind of grow up in front of everybody, and then we're all in a celebratory mood after the national championship. But it, you know, puts things in perspective of how life, you know, trumps everything. And these situations are always sad. That, you know, when you have young life that's lost early, it's sad. It hurts for a while. So you just try to focus on their families. Sports, sometimes we take away from people who aren't in the uniforms and on the field. So, you know, making sure that everybody gets the proper respect. And, you know, if you can hug somebody, hug a family member, send them a card, do whatever you can. It just reminds you that, you know, life is just precious, and it's just so sad that young people are now gone.
Yeah, it's such a difficult wake-up call for everyone, and we are all praying for everyone involved in this situation. Here's just some of the reactions pouring in on social media on the team. Fellow lineman Warren McClendon, who was in that car, according to our insiders at UGAsports.com, tweeted a broken heart and the dove emoji. Kendall Milton tweeted this photo saying, "Long live, love you, Big Dev. I love you, family. A real special soul, and I'm blessed to have you been a part of your story." Bear Alexander writing this one, "Just don't sit well," with the hashtag rest in paradise. My dog, Warren Brinson, tweeted a simple, "I love you, bro." Kyrus Jackson sharing a similar statement. All of these players just pouring in their respect. You guys, this is obviously really difficult to navigate through. You see these teammates, friends, brothers of not only him, but her as well. How do they navigate this? I mean, what's next for this team?
It's tough, right? Because you're going to have grief counselors. You're going to have to really hone in on, you know, loving these guys. And that's what Kirby, you know, really talks about a lot, though. He talks about the brotherhood and things like that. And so you see something like this happen to a teammate, and it just, you know, it opens up every possible emotion for those guys. And I think being for each other right now is the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think community and family. I'm the son of a funeral director, so I've been to hundreds of funerals over my lifetime. And it's the one thing that's consistent from one side of the state, one side of the country, one side of the world or the other. It's terrible, it's sad, nobody wants to be there, and it hurts for a long time. So rallying together as a dog family, and then, you know, just away from the sports, the people who knew these folks outside of the lines and outside of what they did for Georgia as well, making sure that they're just supported, and all you can do is just hug and say things that are complimentary of those people to help their families in this tough time.
Yeah, there's so many fans that have obviously supported them as football players and guys on the field, but it's so important to support them now more than ever because they're clearly dealing with something that a lot of us just could not imagine. Just yesterday, though, following the parade, this is really cool. A fan encounter for Willock. It was one of the last moments that we saw on social media from him. Georgia fan Sam Kramer tweeting out these pictures of Devin and thanking him for taking time to talk to his grandson. This is just such a touching moment. Also saying that Devin went out of his way to make him feel special and make his day. He also let that young boy wear his championship ring. So cool. And honestly, you know, you were talking about it, Paul. This is something you probably would have expected from Devin.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you can talk about Devin Devin all day long, and everybody will smile when they talk about Devin. And it's kind of weird that I'm sure tons of dogs did it last night and gave their ring to people at dinners, but we saw this on Twitter last night. So it just goes to show you, reinforces things. But also Warren McClendon, who was in the car too. You know, you have to kind of grieve with him, and the survivor's guilt is real. And I hope that he is all right too. You know, so it's not just obviously about Devin, but it's about the rest of them that were in the car too.
Very, very difficult stuff, guys. Our thoughts and prayers are with both of the families of both Devin and Chandler tonight, as well as their teammates, coaches, and their friends. We'll be right back.